The Secret of Mana Remake for the PS4, PS Vita, and PC looks cheap. Secret of Mana was the love child between Zelda and Final Fantasy, created by Square. But now it's sort of more so the abused stepchild that lives in Square Enix's basement. There's not a whole lot of love for Secret of Mana anymore, at least not from Square Enix. Welcome to H4G Gaiden. I'm your host Tony, and this is our side show where we talk about gaming news, gaming topics, and general opinion pieces like what we're talking about today. So the Secret of Mana Remake has had trailers and gameplay footage out for a little bit of time now, not too long. And I haven't said much about it other than a few posts on social media because I kind of wanted to let it really sink in and allow myself to formulate an honest opinion. And my opinion goes like this. I feel like it looks pretty good visually, but the 3D looks like garbage. And I'm going to explain why that's an issue for me. For those of you that don't know, Secret of Mana, or Seiken Densetsu 2, is an action RPG from the early 90s. It combined traditional menu-based combat in the form of these ring commands with the sort of live combat adventuring style of Zelda. It was great. In fact, I played it during my last H4G Gaiden, and a lot of you guys commented asking what the game was, hopefully because your interest was piqued because it, to you, looked like a pretty good game, maybe something that you would like to play. And I loved this game as a kid. I thought it was amazing, and in fact, I think it is my favorite game, period. Interestingly, this game actually began its life on the Super Nintendo CD add-on, or the Super Nintendo PlayStation. And it was going to have a lot more content, including sort of non-linear paths and non-linear gameplay, a darker storyline, all that good stuff. But obviously, as you know, the SNES CD never came out, so it was really drastically scaled back, cut down, chopped up, and released on cartridge. And yet it was still an amazing game. The developers still persevered and were able to produce something very high quality, despite the limitations of a cartridge. After playing Secret of Mana as a child, I moved on to other games, but very few could scratch that same itch and give me the same sense of adventure that Secret of Mana gave me. Eventually, I learned that Final Fantasy Adventure here in the US was Seiken Densetsu 1, i.e. the first Mana game. I played that, it was very rudimentary, but you could tell that they were striving towards something that of course would eventually become Secret of Mana. In college, I was able to finally play an English translated ROM of Seiken Densetsu 3. And oh my god, you could just tell that they just went so far beyond Secret of Mana. They were all about pushing the envelope in this game. They were finally able to do some non-linear gameplay. The graphics looked amazing. The music was beautiful. It also helped that they were able to double the size of the cartridge from 16 megabits to 32 megabits. And last time I mentioned megabits, a lot of you guys were like, asterisk megabyte. No, it's megabits. Look it up, guys. It's megabits. So point is that the Mana series has always taken its presentation very seriously. Even games where the story is a little bit more, I guess you could say, abstract, like Legend of Mana for the PlayStation 1, the graphics were beautiful. Hell, even Children of Mana, which I had played for the DS, it was a dungeon crawler, it was okay, but the graphics were great. They really cared about presentation because that's always been important in the Mana series. In 2009, a smartphone version of Secret of Mana was released. It was touted as sort of an upgrade or like a remake, I guess. It had updated graphics and a not so amazing touch interface, I guess. I played it. It was pretty good. Still playing it actually when I fly. Nothing mind-blowing, but some nice touches for, a smartphone game. So that brings us to the remake. Let's go ahead and watch some trailer footage here. The gameplay looks pretty, but my god, the cutscenes. Why? They're so bad. Why even bother with 3D at this point? If you're going to be like, hey, I have a 2D game and 3D cutscenes, and those 3D cutscenes are kind of like a selling point because there's something new, why wouldn't you do something with them? Why wouldn't you animate the faces a little bit? Like, move the mouths during dialogue. I mean, look at this guy. They translated him from this character, who you can kind of see his teeth a little bit, maybe has like an overbite or an underbite or something, and turned him into this. The sort of like jack-o'-lantern type character. It's just awful. Not to mention the voice acting. Sounds childish.
Up. Whoa!
Shh. Be quiet, stupid. If the Elder finds us here, we're done for.
Yeah. We're not supposed to be here?
Now compare this 3D to the opening movie. This looks beautiful. It looks good. It looks like mana, colorful, vibrant, intriguing. Now, I don't want to be completely negative here, and I know I mentioned that the 2D looks okay. One thing I am excited about for this game is it seems like they're either using a new script or they're retranslating the original script. The original Secret of Mana is known for having a notoriously bad translation, partially because they couldn't, like, literally fit the dialogue into the dialogue box, and also partially because of rushed schedule. So everything was stripped down to its absolute bare bones minimum when it came to conversations. Watching this, I can already tell some differences between the SNES version and this version. This version seems to be a little bit more descriptive with its wording, which I think is a big, big plus. Other than that, I haven't heard anything about new content. I do think it would be amazing if they could go back, dig up some of that SNES CD version content and bring it back. It would be a perfect opportunity. In fact, it would be the opportunity if you were to ever do that. I don't think that'll happen, but it would be cool. If they did do that, I would probably forgive the 3D segments. Possibly. But either way, Square Enix keeps remaking this game, or re-releasing it. I mean, obviously they know there's enough of an interest to turn into a cash grab. I mean, they even released Mana 1 through 3 in Japan on Switch. But for once, I would just like to see this series get half of the respect, and half of the attention, even a quarter of the attention, that one of their Final Fantasy games gets. Now, I know this was a long-winded explanation, but the reason why I gave you this backstory is because, especially in regards to the other games in the series, and how much effort they put into pushing the envelope, it just makes this version look worse. This just doesn't seem to be in the spirit of the series. Yeah, the 2D looks good, like I said, but it looks half-baked as a package. But that said, I want to hear your opinions in the comments below. Am I just crazy? Am I just being nostalgic? Let me know what you think of the gameplay footage and the trailers. And aside from that, I really appreciate everybody watching, subscribing, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you again for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like and a share, and we will see you guys next time.